guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So I thought today for our Shabby Saturday we would make some lovely little tassels. Now these can either go on your Christmas tree, they can go on parcels, they can just hang from little places in your house. I just think they are so pretty. Now I'm going to do two different sorts. They're made exactly the same way, but we're going to go for just the little ones like this, and these little pretty ones. So these ones, look, it almost looks like a little angel, doesn't it? Isn't that just gorgeous? So I'm just going to show you. I'm going to show you how you wrap this bit around, because you know, you don't have to have like wrap it around and have a knot. I'll show you a way that you can wrap it around and make it nice and neat and tidy like this one here. So they're really lovely. These are just beautiful. You can hang them on, you know, your journals. Once you know how to make, I know lots of people make tags, but you know, once you know how to make tags, tassels, you know, you can do it with anything, and I just think they're so pretty. These ones, look at these are beautiful. I've got some of this silver. Now this is like glitter. You either love it or hate it, because it can get absolutely everywhere. Now this one came in a bag, so this sort of like comes out like this, but you can sort of like get it in long sort of strips, and it's a little bit thicker. I couldn't get that. I could only get that one, but these are just beautiful. I think they're just so delicate. I've got some lace and some tulle and some of this lovely silver tinsel in there, which is beautiful. So they are lovely. So loving those. I've got a little bunch here hanging on my poor little Christmas tree that needs something doing to. It needs a little bit of embellishing, my poor tree, but you know, hanging those on there, I think that looks quite nice hanging on there anyway. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off with these ones, because it's easier for me to show you how to do this little bit. Now I've got some Macrame string, thread string, I'm not quite sure what it's called. I've got a pink one, and I've got sort of like the plain sort of like creamy colour one. And I also have, amongst all of this, just some gold. It's really just gold string, gold twine. Oh look, I've got a knot in it already. So this is just a bit of gold twine. Well, that's okay, which we shall use. Now I've got a little sort of like templatey thing here, and it is, we only need the height really. So this is like 3.5 inches, or just over 8.5 centimeters. So that will be the size of your little tassel. So it's going to be like that. So whatever size you want your tassel to be, that's the size of the piece of card that you want. Shall we make another pink one? Let's make another pink one, because I think then we'll be able to see easier to put the gold around it. So let's just open this up. So again, you can just make so many different tassels in so many different colours. It's lovely. It's a lovely one to know how to do. So I'm just going to take a length. Now I put a little notch in here just to hold that in place, because this is what we're going to tie. Actually, I'm going to have a little bit longer than that, because that's this bit that we tie it up with. And I'd rather have that too long than too short. So I'm going to just pop that in, hook that in there, have that around like that. Actually, I'm not doing a very good job today, am I? I'm going to pop it through the bottom one, because I don't want this too long. I'm going to have it so it goes up like that, because we want to catch and pop it through that. We want to, when we wrap it around, I want to catch it on this bit, because that's the bit we're going to tie it up with. You'll see in a minute. And I just, if I leave it like that, then I know it's in the right place. So to start with, take your little bit of chipboard, whatever you've got. Andy did buy me a tassel making thing. It's like a little, what's it called? It's a little plastic thing. It's so complicated. It's easier to wrap a piece around a piece of card. So I'm going to wrap this around 25 times roughly. So that's 3, 4, 5, 14 times. Let's just unravel this like this. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, nearly there. 24, 25. Now that's this thickness. I did this one in 25. So again, if you want it bigger or smaller or whatever, then you can wrap it round more times or less times. So I'm just going to cut that off. Now this is the bit, so I'm going to just untie these like that, and then that means that that's caught this piece like that. So I'm just going to level that off. I'm going to tie just one. I'm just going to go around twice like that. I'm going to tie that so it doesn't come undone. And then this is the end we want to sort of chop off like that. So I'm just going to get myself a nice pair of sharp scissors like that, without cutting into the card. Look, I've cut right into that card. Okay, so then that's the top, and then we can just tighten this top piece up. If you have it too tight in the beginning, if you tie it tight, it sort of like leaves a little loose bit, leaves a little gap, so just tie that up tight like that. Okay, and then I'm going to tie the bit that we've just tied. I'm going to pop a knot around there so we know that this is the top like that. So that's our little tassel so far. Now we need to wrap this little bit so we get the little bit like this bit. So that's what we're after now. So I'm going to take a piece of this like that. Now what you want to do is take your little end and make like a little loop like that. So you want to just loop the end over, so you've got the end there. Hold this kind of tight, and then you want to put your thumb, hold your thumb on that loop because we need that loop, and this bit is sticking out the end, so we want to wrap this around a few times. So I'll probably do it, you can do it like about 10 times really without getting this in the way. My fingernails are a little bit too long to, they sort of get in the way, but try and pull it tight as you go round. Do you know what I mean? So you can go around as many times as you like, depending how long, how wide you want this bit to be. So if you want that to be quite wide, then keep going. Do you know what I mean? So let's just, that's probably about right. So hold on to that, chop that piece off. Now this piece that we've just cut off, you want to pop it through the loop like that, okay? Now I'm going to get me pliers. Not that it's hard, it's just easier to pull this through. So you take this end, and that is going to pull that loop. And as you pull that loop, it's going to take this end bit, this piece, up underneath there. Make sure that's tight. So it's hiding in between this bit here, like that. So you want that right in the middle, so that's not going anywhere and that's not going anywhere. So that means then you can just chop this little end bit off and that little end bit off, and you've got a really nice little neat top to your tassel. So this works on whatever size you're doing, but I just think that, and that's really nice and tight. So make sure you sort of try and wrap it around as tightly as you can. So that's lovely. So that's how you do it. Now, God, I've got so many bits on my desk. Now what I'm going to do, this is a little, because this is macrame, look, I've got stuff all over my desk. This is like a tiny little dog brush or a cat brush, I'm not quite sure. So I'm just going to use this just to, you know, make this all nice and fluffy. You can leave it as it is, or you can just, you know, brush it out so it looks nice and pretty, like that. Look how pretty that is. And then what we want to do is hold on to that, and we will just tidy up the ends. Just cut those little pieces off like that. So there we go, we've got lovely little simple tassel. Now to make the little fairy wings, the little angel wings, surprise surprise, I've got my little bow maker out. I've got the two little smaller ones like that, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so one at the end and then two from this end, so that's right on the end, and then two from this end. So shall I measure it in case yours are different? So that's about 7.5 centimeters or about 3 inches. So let's try and get this little knot out. I don't know how I've knotted that, but it is. And this one, I have put this thread inside, and it does brush out as well because it's sort of like got little bits to it. And I'm going to just cut that off because I'll use that little bit for something in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to pop this around. I'm going to wrap it round so we've got 3 little loops, 3 or 4 little loops on each side. Let's just chop that off. Then I'm going to just go underneath. Now this stuff doesn't tie very well. It tends to sort of, you know, loosen really quickly. So I'm going to tie a knot, and I'm just going to get my glue gun and just pop a little dab of glue in there, like that. And then I've got to tie it again, just so we know that that knot is not going anywhere. And then we'll just snip that off like that. I think I've got glue on there. There we go. And then, so a lovely big angel would look lovely like that. So look, that looks like we've got little angel wings on there, which, oops, we can, look, we've got little bits of thread everywhere. Pop a little double of glue on there. And then pop those onto that little bit. How would that tighten? Look, we've got lots of little, you can have just one if you want to, but I think, look, a couple is, 4 of them, it looks really pretty, doesn't it? So how simple and how easy, and again, any colours, you just pick whatever colours you like. So how simple is that? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just do one more quickly of this because it's a little bit harder to see when I'm doing the other ones. Let's do one of these, shall we? Instead, let's do one of these because I don't have many of this one. Unravel it first. I'm going to use, where's the end? There's the end. I'm going to use a little bit of the gold as the tie at the top. So I'm going to just pop this, the thinner bit through here, the not so long bit, not the thinner bit, and then I'm going to just do that and come down through that hole like that. So then we know that this is going to catch when we go round it. So let's get all these little shiny bits out of the way. I'm going to wrap this. This one's quite thick. This one's a little bit thicker than the other one, so we don't need as many, I don't think, depending on what size you want anyway. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's go for 15, shall we? So the other one I did 25, so this one is 15. So let's just pop this up like that. Take this, tie that in a knot, like that. Then we're going to cut these off. Nice sharp pair of scissors, but again you can always use a little knife, a little Stanley knife or something. There we go. Pull that off. Tie that tight like that, and again I'm going to just put a little blob of glue on there just to hold this tight, because it just tends to sort of, you know, want to undo. Oops, like that. Lovely, lovely. This one's going to take a little bit more to, going to be a bit more bulkier, which I think is quite nice. And then you can add pearls. I've had pearls to the other ones. You can add all sorts of things. But look at that, that's lovely. So once that's at the top, I'm going to take that, I'm going to take this again, make a little loop like that, just loop it, pop that on so your thumb is over that loop and this bit is out, do you know what I mean? And then we just want to wrap this as tightly as possible. Whoops. Like that. Now it depends how big you want this, so you can always start further down. Do you know what I mean? It depends how, oops, out the way. This is going to look a little bit awkward because it's the same colour as the little tie, isn't it? So let's just wrap around. I'm going to hold this a bit tighter and try and do it a little bit further down, just so we've got a little bit more gold. So just as hard, hold as hard and tight as you can. Oops, so just let that go. Just wrap it around like that. Let's make sure we're going all the way around like that. Just think they look so lovely. Cut that off, hold that tight, hold that there with your other finger. Now we want to put the end through that loop like that. Now I'm going to take my pliers because it's a little bit easier. So can you see this is the end of the loop, so it's pulling that through. So you want to make sure that's tight, and this will pull underneath there. So if you just pull this with pliers, it's so much easier. So then you know that this is under there, that's all nice and tight and it's not going anywhere. And then we can just snip these off like that and like that. And then look, that is lovely and tight, isn't it? Super duper, super, right. And then we can just brush this out nice and gently. So you could use your doggy brush or a little cat brush if you've got one. This Macrame string, I think it's called string, I'm not sure. You can sort of like get all over the place, but it's such a lovely one to have in your stash for doing things like this. I just think it's so pretty. You can do lots and lots of different things with it, but making these little fairies or little angels at Christmas is lovely, and it just fluffs up beautiful. So let's just cut this little end bit off, just like that. Shake it up, and we've got this beautiful little tassel. Now again, you can have, where we've got some little pearls that you can put on it. This one I wrapped a couple of little pearls around. These you can have, you know, hanging down through it. You can do all sorts of things. But again, on this one, I'm just going to do the little angel wings again because I think they look really, really pretty. I'd like those to go on some of my gifts that I have this year as well. So let's just wrap this round like that. Cut that off. I can't remember, I think this is the Flying Tiger. I got that, which is really lovely, isn't it? It's obviously a gift wrap, but so you can pick up all sorts of lovely different colours of it as well. So let's just pop, oopsie daisy, pop a little notch in there. See, this isn't the easiest to work with because it does sort of unravel a little. Like that, pull that nice and tight, and then I will do another little knot. Then we just do it this way. Oh dear. Perfect. Cut this right down. It's better to pop a little bit of glue if you're going to cut it right off as well, so they don't unravel. Look at that. So that just makes perfect little wings, doesn't it? So let's, which is a nice side, which is I think this is the bit where I cut it off, so that's quite nice to, if you're not very tidy at doing that, you can sort of cover that up a little bit, can't you? Cover up your little mistake, and then nobody will know. But how beautiful is this? If you've got a nice little gift wrapped up or a little gift bag. I do love hanging little things off gift bags. I think it makes the gift inside so much more exciting. And look at that, isn't that just lovely? Right, let's make some little shabby ones, shall we? So I've got all of these lovely ones. This is a beautiful pink as well. So I'm going to pop those to the side. Oh look, I don't think I showed you this. Look what Andy bought me. This has just came with it, so I've just tied that on top. It's a lovely little cutting board, and he said he thought it might be something I could embellish. It's got a little heart for a Shabby Saturday. Isn't that just lovely? It came with a little sort of tea towel attached to it, which is lovely, which I've just popped into the wash. There's a little Christmas tea towel. Right, my lovelies, let's see. I'm going to use now, do I need that? Yes, I need that. But I'm going to take some tulle. Okay, so I'm just going to use this one. I think I'm quite close today, aren't I? Where's my other tulle? I'm going to take two different ones. I've got this lovely colour one. Don't know what colour you would call that, but I want to take, oh, I don't know, maybe 8 inches or so of each one. Something like that. So about 20, oh, did I cut the other one off as well? A little bit of this. About 20 centimetres or something like that. Something like that. Right, so what I like to do, as you all know, I like to sort of stretch my tulle. I know it's a little bit difficult for you to see this one. But I like to sort of stretch it. Now, it doesn't matter if you rip it, because that's what gives you those sort of jaggedy edges like that. See, I'm so sort of, you know, I just rip everything. And he says I got sort of hands like vices sometimes, because, you know, I'm just pull things and do things too hard. There we go. I break so much. If I put something in the sink or anything like that, it's always with a great big clonk and something breaks. I don't know. There we go. So gently, pull it gently, like that. I can remember when my kids were younger, if they couldn't open anything, they go, "Mum, you all got so strong hands, you have to go open this for me." And even now, when my son came in the summertime, he said to me, he said, "God," he said, "you are so strong." He said, "I can remember when he was younger that I used to, you know, open the hardest of jars and everything." It was quite funny. Him and my daughter were having a right laugh about it. So look. Right, these are ones where you just pull little bits, dozen little bits. All these little bits can go right in there as well. Now I'm going to use this again because I like this. Oh, if I can get that one out. Oh, that's stuck in there. Right, I'm going to put just at the end. So I'm going to just have a little hole in between. Okay. I'm going to take some lace as well. So we'll have a few little pieces of lace on this one, like that. And again, I'm just using what's on my desk. So that was the lace that I coloured the other day. We'll have a little bit of this one in there. So just get sort of strips of whatever you've got. We'll have a little bit of pearl in there. And then I'm going to take a piece of this. This is thicker, but I'm going to sort of rip it up. So this can come, this piece like this. So I'm just going to rip it into little thinner pieces like that. Okay, so we've got all of these little bits like that. So I'm going to put in just some other, actually, I need to put in, I'm going to use this. This is like, what's this called? I can't remember now. It's like an embroidery cotton. I'm going to just lay that across like that through the, in between the two little thingamajiggities, wooden bits. And then I'm going to just put these in like this. So little bits of lace just through the middle, little bits of tulle, little bits of white lace in there. Just layer up, just like you would be making a bow. You know, you layer these up to make a bow, don't you? On these, which I've not made a bow that you lie across, I don't think. And then just pop that little bit of pearls across there. So I'm going to bring that through. We're going to just tie a little knot in this. Oh, do you know what I've forgotten? I've forgotten our little sparkly bits. Oh, what am I doing? Well, I'm going to have to take this out again. Gosh, I forgot my little silver sparkly bits. So let's do that again. I'm going to pop those little bits on there like that. Oh, we need a little bit of sparkle, don't we? So I'm going to take a little bit of that and put that over the top. And then we will take a little bit of this, put that in like that, pop that in like that. Not as neat as the first time. Pop that in. I'm going to put another little bit of... Anyway, Andy's going to find this all over the house now. I think that might be a little bit too much. Okay, and then there we go. Then the bit that we laid across, we are going to pick this up. You don't have to have this, you can just lie these bits down across a piece of cotton. There we go, look, and then we've got a little thingamajiggidy there. Let's turn that over. I'm going to tie this in a little knot. Can you see it's easier for me to show you on the other ones than it is on this one, because this has got all sorts of bits and pieces in it, but the tying bit is easier to show you on the other bits. So I'm going to tie this in a little knot, because this is the end piece that we're going to use to hang it up. Do you know, I shouldn't have tied that in a knot, because I can't get the bead on now, but never mind. We will do one without a bead. Look at that. So when you pull this down, I'm going to try and do that. This is our little tassely bit at the bottom. Just so pretty. So I'm going to take this like that. So what I'm going to have to use is this, I think. This is quite thin, so it will be a little bit more difficult for you to see. Or shall I use the gold? Or maybe I'll use a bit of gold. Let's use a bit of gold, shall we? Right, again, make a little loop in that, like that. Pop that down on there and hold on tight. I'm going to cut this a little bit shorter. And then again, this is going to wrap around. Once you're doing it yourself, it looks a bit awkward when I'm doing it like this. You will find it so much easier. You wait and see. Wrap it around. Get the little end bit out of the way. Let me just hold that further down. Whoopsie daisy. Like that. You will definitely find it easier once you're doing it yourself. Hold that down. Round and round and round. A little bit out of the way. Okay, snip that off. Now the bit you just snipped, where's our little loop? You want to pop through the loop, okay, the end bit, and then we pull this bit. But again, get yourself like a little pair of pliers. Just pull that through, because it just makes it a little bit easier. Oh my gosh. And then just snip these little pieces away. Would have been better for me to use a little bit of silver, but I don't have any silver. And then there we go, we've got our little scruffy little tassel. Now because I've got pearls on here like that, which are all around the right size, I'm not going to put a pearl on the top because I think that looks quite pretty like that. But what I'm going to do, if you've got some of this and it's tassely, don't pull it, because you'll just pull it all the way through. Just sort of like snip it off. And can you see? And then these, I think they just look lovely. Nice little shiny something to hang on your gifts or your tree or something. Just think they are so pretty. I love them. So this will go on there. Look how many I got on my tree now. Oh, they're just beautiful. Right, shall I show you again quickly? I need to make another one anyway. So shall we make let's do another little sparkly one. I like the sparkly ones. Okay, I've got a little bit of tulle here. Again, use all your little leftover bits. Actually, look, I've got a little bit of something in here. Look, got a little, what's it called? I'm going to put that in there. It's a little ruffle. So, there we go. Let's pop a little ruffle in there. That's going to be a real scruffedy-doodah one, can't it? Let's pop that in there. I'm going to pop some of this in here. Lots and lots of sparkle. Let's pop. Gosh, I got lots. That can go in there. I'm just going to look and see what I've got in my... Here's a little bit. I don't really want to use that. I've got some white lace. That will look nice. In there. I'm going to add a little bit more tulle. So anything that's sort of left over. Oh look, I've got this. I took this out as well. I'm going to use a little bit of this, but I'm going to have to cut it this way, because it needs to tear this way. That looks, I don't want that bit. That can go in. Let's put this bit, put that bit for in a minute. Let's use some tulle. There we go. Pop that in. Nice stretch. So we have a nice sort of biggish one. Let's put a little bit more of this in, so we've got a nice little bit of pink in there. There we go. Gosh, I think I've got through quite a bit of tulle lately. Let's put this in. There we go. What do you reckon? And we shall tie it with a little bit of gold. Gosh, this one's going to be very sparkly. Let's take that, tie that in a knot. Chop this bit off. Okay. So tie that like that. Again, I'm going to pop just a little bit of hot glue just in that little bit and tie it a little bit tighter, like that. Perfect. Don't know whether, I wonder if I can get a bead on the top of this. Look at all this. Oh, how beautiful. Just fluff that up. Now having that little ruffle in the middle is going to make it all sort of like stand out. So have a little bit of a ruffle about, like that. So we've got the silver that side as well. Pull that down. And we will have, make sure it's nice and, make sure that's nice and level. I'm going to take one of these, the gold again, pop that on and wrap them around like that, nice and tight, round, around and round, like that. Yeah, I had, Andy brought me that tassel maker. It wasn't last year, I think it was the year before. I did give it a go, but it is really, really not easy to use. I think it's a bit of a sort of more of a gimmick thing. So I've just popped that through the little loop, and I'm going to just pull this tight so that's tight. And then that will just pull that end underneath, in between these little bits. I don't know whether you've got a tassel maker. I think it's We Are Memories or something. I think it is. No, We Are Memory Keepsakes or something. I don't know. I can't remember now. But yeah, it's not worth it at all. Okay. Oh, I like this one. Well, I'm just going to hold on to this and just. Can you see all the little bits that are hanging down too much? I'm just going to just snip those off a little bit. Then we've got this lovely, beautiful tassel. Look at that. I love them. I just think they're just going to add such a lovely, lovely little, oh, I like this one, it's all puffy. Little something to whatever you've got. Now, I'm going to just see. I think I'll be able to get a little pearl on the top of there. Let's have a little look. I've got a needle in here. Let me just see if I can thread this through. Okay, that goes through. I need to put them both through. Let's hold that down. Okay, so that's both ends through. Let's see if we can, oops, get one of these. I don't know where that's going to go through. Bigger one. Oh, it's a shame if it doesn't go through. I'm going to take my, oh, lovely. Lovely, lovely. Oh, which bit comes out? There we go. Take that off. Then we've got like a little, it's a bit odd actually. I might put something around that. Going to tie a little knot. Like that. Once you've tied a little thing, put your needle through or something through and pull it down, and that will sort of like tighten your knot right to where you want it to go. Pull both little thingy-majiggities. Do you know what I mean? That's tightens your knot right at the end of wherever it is you want to go. Right, we've got that. Now I would like two, because it looks a little bit odd. I might, oh, it would look like a little fairy if I did this. Let's cut that bit off and that bit off. I'm going to just melt that just so it doesn't fray. What do you think? I'm going to just cover the top of this up And then we can make a little pair of wings. What do you think? Oh, I'm going to give it a go. It's not the best, but let's just see. A bit of glue down there. Just pop that like that. Wrap that around. And we can add, add some wings. Add some little wings on there. I would have probably done it a little bit neater if I knew what I was going to do. There we go. That looks like her little body and her little head, doesn't it? Oh, I kind of like that. Shall we make her a pair of little sparkly wings? Oops, that belongs to you. Let's use this one. What did we do? That big? And let's just give her a few. Let's make some quite big, fat, chunky wings. Like that. Little knot. Oh my gosh. Let's just chop that off. Pop that round. Tie a knot. Like that. Let's have a little bit of glue. Just there. Tie that a little bit tighter. And then another one. Perfect. If you squeeze that, it sort of like helps it to sort of pop off just a little bit. Look at all these. Look at that. That's fabulous, isn't it? And then where I've sort of got the connecting little bit, that looks like a little, oh, I love it. There we go. Just cover up our little bit there. And pop our little wings on. There we go. Got some little tassel fairies. Angels. Fairies. Whatever you like to call them. Hold that on. Oh, look at that, guys. She's a fancy old one, isn't she? Then I'll just tie that in a knot. Look at that. Oh, just beautiful. And that's just made out with some of the little scrubby bits out of my little pot there. Oops. Just tie a little knot. Like that. There we are. Snip that off and we have this beautiful little one. Look at that. So that can hang somewhere. Just gorgeous. Might even go on one of the girls' gifts, I think, so that they can hang it on their tree. So there we go, guys. I've got lots of lovely, lovely little bits here. All of these that we've made. This little one, nice little shiny ones. I've got these ones with little beads on. Oopsie daisy. All of these on here, which are just gorgeous. Our little ones made with the macrame string. So again, you can add shiny bits in there, little glittery bits in there. But how beautiful are they? And then you can get fancy when it's not Christmas. You can just add little bits to them. There's this little one with the gold in. We have this big one here with the lovely wings. We made quite a few now, haven't we? And I did have a little tiny little one in here. This little one with her wings on there. So beautiful. So there we go, guys. Well, I hope you're going to give it a go. That was a nice little fun one. Whether you're making them into little angels or just making them into tassels, it's sort of like this bit that I wanted to sort of like show you how to do, because I think that's a really nice thing to know. You might already know how to do it, probably, but a little recap now and again of these little things is really, really good. So, and you know that your tassel's not going to come undone. So thank you so much for joining me. Have a fab rest of the day. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you soon. All right, guys, bye-bye.